Okay, it is June 13th, 2023, 6:03 p.m. Sorry about that. This is the Inland Wetland Agency and Conservation Commission meeting for Norwalk, Connecticut. Could we have a roll call, please?
Certainly. Steve Quackey.
Here.
Cheryl
Hey.
Brown.
Here.
Ed Holinko.
Yo.
Heather Breslin. You got.
Unmute here.
Perfect. So you have 4 and you have a quorum. I know that Mr. Pence and Miss Richardson have said that they will not be attending. So that leaves Miss Catherine Knight, who I think will be attending shortly.
Okay, great. Thank you. Do we have anyone who has called in that wants to talk about anything not related to what's on our agenda tonight?
Yes, Miss Diane Lorcella has her hand raised.
Hi, Diane.
And
Hi, Commissioner Steve and commissioners. How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good, good. I first of all, thank you. My name is Diane Lorcella. In the future, when I come on, I'll talk a little bit about my background because there are some new folks. But I want to make sure I take my 3 minutes or so to just talk about the following. I'm an environmental consultant by trade and have lived in town for over 35 years. And I first wanted to thank you for having public participation. Maybe I'd be happy to help you advertise that you allow this for people to speak about ideas, things other than what's on the agenda. But I appreciate that you have it. I lobbied for it years ago and it was at the end of the agenda. I think this is better, but we should get some people to thank you for similar. Number 2, I appreciated and listened to the comments for your special meeting related to the planning and zoning regulation amendments or changes. And I really do appreciate many of those comments. I'm a member of the Connecticut Green Building Council Advocacy Committee because I do recommend green measures to clients on both sides of the aisle, the developer community, as well as citizens and homeowners. I really appreciated the white roof, green roof discussion. I'm looking for some language as well to deliver to Steve and Brian and the commissioners of planning and zoning. The brownfields, I'd love to chat with you, Heather. I'm glad you mentioned that. I used to be a regulator with a hazardous waste division in the state. So yes, that is something I mentioned to the zoning people, and also the Coastal Area Management Act and tree planting. These are all great things, and I'm glad that you were able to have that special meeting. To wrap up, I just wanted to say, however, I have concerns related to your recent approval of open space fund requests. And Nancy on Norwalk had a brief article about it. She took me out of context, and I'm really sad about that because I like Nancy's blog. But the thing is, I do feel that there was not the due diligence that's expected under the ordinance. I am sorry, I respectfully disagree with the way it was researched and presented. I know you all asked the question. The only question that was asked was, has anyone else asked for the money? And I posit here that this commission and the staff have to go beyond that question. It is the duty of this commission through the staff, in my interpretation of the ordinance, the Open Space Fund ordinance, on an annual basis, you're supposed to get a list of current and threatened private and public open spaces, and then evaluate, do we want to enhance our current open spaces, including public open spaces? And as you know, Mr. Stowers, a very capable Recreation and Parks Director, is currently doing a report about what we need for our open spaces in addition to recreational spaces. I have put forth 2 city-owned properties that could be turned into Vest Pocket Parks in District A and B. And so that is your duty, is to see what else should we and could we spend the money on. It's not whether the land trust or any other person asks you to spend X number of dollars in my interpretation. So I offered a compromise suggestion to the city council and to the land trust that it's up to the city council whether they take your recommendation. And I offered that they cut it in half or less, because there are many other more deserving sites. And quite frankly, the Stephen Mather site, in my professional opinion, there is plenty of greenery up in that part of, I went by the site. I was a 12-year member, 13-year member of the land trust. I don't blame them for asking for the money. What I'm saying is this commission needs to do better. And I would like to see a wholehearted review of how this fund is not only managed, how sites are selected, and also how you can get more money in it beyond what the city gives you. There are ways, and I'd be happy to help, but I really am sad that you all decided to do such little due diligence about this site. So I thank you for your time, and I appreciate you very much. I've always appreciated this commission. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. We'll definitely take that to heart. And maybe discuss it later on in the Conservation Commission portion of the agenda tonight. So thanks for that. Okay, anyone else online, Alexis, who wants to share anything with us?
No, that's it. No other attendees. I will just note that Miss Knight did arrive at the meeting
Oh, I don't see her.
just after 6.
Just kidding.
Well, she was there.
She was
a second ago.
Okay, so moving on to receipt and discussion. S23-621, 256 Philo Street.
Yes, this application, at your last regular meeting on May 23rd, you had a show cause hearing for an enforcement order on this property. And I can kind of quickly give you an overview of its location again. It is a corrective action application. Let's see.
Always be careful.
Yeah. And so just to review, here's Oak Hills golf course. This is the Merritt up here, and the property is here. This is the 5 Mile River and Holy Ghost Father's Brook, and the property is here on Philo Street. And again, it's just the Holy Ghost Father's Brook, which has been previously modified with the development of this neighborhood in the past, has the water course in what feels like the front yard of this property. The driveway parallels the water course and then cuts across it to get to the main part of their residence. There's no indication of any wetlands. It's just water course due to the previously dug nature of the water course. I did not require the applicants to delineate any wetlands on their property. It is then piped and conveyed to the rest of Holy Ghost Father's Brook across the street under Philo Street. They were issued an order for removing vegetation and initiating some filling and grading of the property within the upland review area of a water course. And so as directed, they have filed for a corrective action permit application. I will stop sharing my screen for now. The applicant is present. And I can share my screen to show your submitted plans if that's helpful, Mr. Palenko, or if you just want to talk.
No, yeah, you can share the screen and show what I want to do.
Okay, give me a second to put that up. Oh. You know what I did not get a chance to upload the plan that you just emailed more recently. But,
Okay,
so if you want to just describe your plan, that would be great. Or I can describe it for you if you like.
okay. So whatever you say, like E is the existing plan we have right now. And if you can zoom it in, I caught like 1, 2, 3, like 5 big pines. Say cut right there. So I want to basically the other like red and yellow, blue, it's different colors. That's the plants I have to plant there. That way make the, you know, the whatever I caught is to replace that.
And then this is a retaining wall that you installed during the filling activity. So this shows kind of your general fill, right? There's
Yes, 0
generally
grade.
no fill closest to the house. And then it gets a little bit deeper, closer to the water course.
Mhm.
And you'd want to continue that wall. This portion is not built yet, but you would like to build this.
Yes, to continue with that.
Okay, and so the it looks like some of the pre-existing topography is shown on the survey? Or was-
Yes,
Okay. And so it used to kind of go down to the water course and now it's more level.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Okay, so that is a helpful diagram. Should I just enumerate a few things that we would be looking for? Or just maybe sometimes it helps to to say again what was just presented to us in a different way to make sure everyone understands what's happening. So there was a water course. Alexis said that it was affected. It was not man-made, but it was altered a long time ago as this area was developed. We're not concerned about wetland soils. We're only concerned about the waterway itself. And so, we are also concerned about the waterway and 100 feet on both sides of it, 100 feet to the west, 100 feet to the east.
Yes.
And we're concerned about any activity within that 200-foot wide swath and how it might affect the water course and anything that's living in or around the water course, anybody who's upstream, anybody who's downstream, flora, fauna, plants, animals, et cetera, et cetera. So it looks like there was trees, large mature shade trees removed on the west side of the water course. North is up right here, Alexis?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And so that would theoretically have effect on the flora and fauna in the water course, as in it's now in bright sun as before it was shaded, et cetera, et cetera. And what you're proposing is new plantings on the east side of the water course, of various sizes and species, which is down there at the bottom. If you
Yeah,
scroll down it too. Okay. And so we have summer sweet, dogwood, tulip tree, pin oak, maple, and black gum. Alexis, did you have a chance to take a look at those species and see if they're native, adaptive, or
Yep.
otherwise?
They're all native plants. So the first two are shrubs. And then the last four are all shade trees.
Okay,
That will
So-
grow to be large trees.
okay,
And just to clarify, the evergreens were approximately in this location, but then there were other trees between the driveway and the evergreens that were removed.
okay.
And I think,
So,
yeah,
sorry.
I was just gonna go back to, sorry, let me do it this way.
Pictures, photos.
Photos. So this is what the property looked like in 2021 before activity. So this is the driveway comes in here and then turns.
Alexis, could you zoom in and tick, please?
Yep.
Thank
How's
you.
that? Better?
Great. Yep.
Okay, driveway. The dark line that you come see kind of in this general location that I'm tracing with my cursor is the water course. So it's piped under the turn in the driveway. And then there's a head wall here where it's piped and goes under Philo Street. So there's that row of evergreens, the driveway, and then trees to the west of the driveway. And then there were and still are trees to the east of the driveway. If I scroll down, this is what it looks like in 2023, so about a couple of months ago. The black line that you see is the silt fence that the property owner immediately put up upon our inspection. So the row of evergreens was approximately here. And so it's the other trees here, and then a couple trees within this area here.
So on the east side of the water course, there were deciduous trees.
Correct.
And these are all mature trees of, 30, 40, 50 feet at least.
Yes, so here is, this is a 2016 Google Maps photo. Again, at the driveway in here is the water course. This is where it's culverted under Philo Street. These are the evergreen trees. And then this is the kind of mixed deciduous hardwoods that were between the driveway and the evergreens.
Okay.
And this was from our site inspection. Again, the silt fence had been installed. This is the area of filling between the silt fence and the dwelling, which is off to the right.
And
That's,
did you notice any changes to the size or configuration of the culvert? Not the size of the culvert, obviously, but has it been changed in any way as far as water?
No.
goes there?
no, the culvert is unchanged. And thought I did another view looking at the other way where the proposed retaining wall is, but guess I didn't. So I will add a retaining wall photo.
Okay, thanks. Could you go back to the sketch, please?
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, we're not deciding anything tonight. We're just receiving this new information that you gave to Alexis, and we're just going to talk about it and ask questions and see how to move forward. Okay. All right. So there's two things that I think are happening here. There are three things, I guess. There's the change to the grade, which is going to, it may or may not affect the amount of water that's running away from the house into the water course. So that's question number one, if anybody's taking notes. Question number two would be the retaining wall, how that might have an effect on, it doesn't look like it's going to have effect on a regular condition of the waterway, but maybe in a flood situation, it may have an effect that could affect others. So that's number two. And then number three, I think, is the tree removal, if and how that may have an effect on the water course, and how the proposed plantings may remediate that. So that's number three.
Right, and so then to kind of finish off where the grading ended, the applicant is also proposing a stone wall approximately 2.5 feet in height in this location here.
Right. Okay. All right, so that then again affects both water flow into the water course from your property, and then also it may affect the capacity of the water course during, higher level events. Do any other commissioners, does anybody have any objection or questions about what I said, or are we all on the same page about what we're looking at here? And what Alexa said, obviously. I'm tagging on to whatever she says.
I
Okay.
just want a clarification on the proposed plantings for in the culvert. Is it mostly dogwoods and shrubs? So that's the summer sweet and dogwood. Is that the only thing that they're proposing putting in there?
No. We have more plants.
So I think what we're angling after is try to get as close as we can to how it was before the area was affected so drastically. So the cutting it to the skinny here, are we going to have big trees along that water course like we had previously?
I have in the proposal, I have I don't know if 3, 6, 9, I have I think like 20 or 16, 15, something like about 6 feet, and those are big tree. I mean, with the time it will be a big trees.
Okay, so we're talking about the big trees in your schedule. There are blue, yellow, light red, and black, right?
Yes, yes.
All right, so could we zoom in closer on the waterway, please, Alexis? So light blue, light red, yellow, and black.
So there's one,
That's a dark red, I think, right? There's 2 light reds.
2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
6, 9, 14.
Oh.
It's about 14 total.
5. And are these the tulip trees then? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tulip trees? Sorry. Yeah. So the 5 tulip trees would be here. And then the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And then I think we're missing one of the light red dots. But you,
Yeah, it's somewhere there. The thing is, I try to mix it up, to make look nice, but they are there. Like, I know it's not like nice drawing, but I did the best I can.
No, that's okay. One thing that is important to us is to make sure everyone is clear about what's happening. And part of that involves making sure the documentation is as clear as possible. So I think this is a great first attempt. Not to put words in Ms. Knight's mouth, but we may be looking for a more obvious layout for the bigger trees on both sides of the water course. Catherine, is that kind of what you were thinking?
Yeah, I'm thinking to put back the shade trees over the water course.
Okay.
To make it as it was, and also for water management and root stabilization, because there's quite a grade there, and so there was a lot of roots, I would assume, holding that embankment intact.
Okay. Other commissioners, do you have thoughts or questions about the direction the conversation is going? Okay. All right, well, what's that?
So this was emailed to me, but I didn't have a chance to upload it.
Hmm.
So it's the same information, but computer drawn. So again, the proposed wall, the water course. And so just to clarify with your comments, the trees that are proposed here, in addition to these are tulip trees, the TTs. In addition to the tulip trees along this side, you'd like to see a smattering of shade trees within the shrubs on this side? Is that what the
That's-
comment was?
That's what I'm thinking. Catherine? Or anyone else?
Yeah, I mean, to the extent that there were shade trees there that then got cut down inadvertently.
Well,
Sorry,
but I have many of those. I can plant it there. You know, if you told me just do it there, I mean, I do on the other side. That doesn't.
Yeah, I
You
think
know.
we're less concerned about the areas away from the water course. I don't see them as having a huge impact. So if
Okay.
you're looking for suggestions, I would suggest you reconfigure this to put more of the big trees along the waterway to make it more like it was before. And maybe also we'd suggest a like a northeast ground cover mix to stabilize the embankment until, you know, we can get the root systems grown again and whatnot, to get it sort of strengthened up so that it doesn't, you know, wash out the next time there's a big storm or something.
Got it. But if you zoom it, I mean, I know Alexis has that, but if you zoom it in, just in that side, I have like six of those. So after they growing up, like it's gotta be a lot. I think so.
6 on
So
one side or 6 on both sides?
it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You see all those
Okay.
plus in the other side. So I think it's. I mean, I can do it, but I think it's too many if I do in both sides. I mean, I can move someone from here and plant it there because I have. If you see those big like PO and the Black Point, I have 3 of those, plus the other one I have in the retaining wall, plus the other one I have in the other side, plus the other one I have after the driveway. So
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know. It's
Well, we can't tell you what to do. All we can do is let you know what we think is reasonable. If you want to get back in touch with Alexis, she can maybe help you finesse this a little bit because she knows, you know, more than the rest of us about, you know, what wetlands and water courses and all the concerns. So the only other thing I'll say is that honestly, you know, we have to look at the what is the word we use? The functionality of the water course and wetlands. Is that the word we use, Alexis?
Yeah,
I mean, with this thing is out of culverts, into culverts, it's not natural anyway. I personally, I'm not speaking for anyone else here. I personally am not all too overly concerned about the grading and the retaining wall. If anything, we might want to give the water course a little bit more room and maybe move it back a little bit. But again, that's just my thoughts. It would be great to have an engineer tell us what's happening there, but I don't know if that's in the cards.
Good question. What is the length of the water course that is on the property? I can't tell for scale.
yeah,
Good question.
this will be faster. And so it's approximately 90 feet, not including the section of water course to the north of the driveway. So a 90-foot length. And then it's relatively narrow between the driveway and the water course. It's you can kind of see that in the photo. It's not even 6 feet in width between the driveway and the water course, and it kind of is a steep slope, so there's really not a lot of room on that side. And then what's being proposed, let's see, I wrote it in my staff report. Was about 10 feet, if I remember right, to where the proposed stone wall would be installed.
Anyone else have questions or concerns?
Ed is
Ed?
raising his hand.
Yeah, I'm a little, I've got my helper here, my assistant. I'm a little concerned about the stone wall. I would like to see it, at least move back a little bit.
Yeah, what do you think is a nice area? What's a nice distance between the water course and the wall if you had to throw a number out there?
Well, I think right now I would like to see it, move back by at least another 5-10 feet.
Okay, I can put it where the silk fence is right now. You saw the other plan Alexis showed you, where the silk fence is right now. I can do it there. It's about like, I don't know, 25 feet from the water course.
That sounds a lot better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ed.
Yep.
Anyone else want to ask or contribute anything? Okay. Mr. Polanco, do you have any more questions for us?
I mean, so you say you don't take any decision today, but then I have to wait to another meeting and then to another one to.
Well, no, not necessarily. I mean, our next meeting is on the 27th, I believe. Is that right? So if between now and then you can work with Alexis to update the plan according to, the suggestions we've given you today. And then she can draft a resolution and have that ready for us to vote on at our next meeting in 2 weeks.
Okay.
So that it behooves you to make the drawing be as clear and as close to what we were aiming for as possible, because that makes it easy for us to approve it.
Okay. I mean, I will do it. I mean, the thing is, it's too many plants and it's basically a small area. So
Yeah.
that's.
I don't know what all the small shrubs are doing for us. I mean, I think we could probably dial that number back quite a bit. Anybody
Okay.
else thoughts? Cheryl? No?
Yeah, no, I like the shrubs. They're gonna help stabilize
Okay.
the banks pretty quickly. Their roots will spread out, in my opinion. But I think having the trees a little closer to the stream would be beneficial, definitely, in my opinion as well.
The bigger trees.
Yeah, so that we can recreate
Question,
the shade.
you want me to focus just on the big trees, like on both sides, because that way you can see clear what is the proposal.
Sure.
Because it's too many, I know it's hard, but it's too many little points, little dots,
Yeah.
and that way you don't focus. But in both sides, I have a 6 feet tree. I mean, after they growing up, it's got to be like huge trees. So, I mean, I know what you say, but I want to make something nice and clear. I understand your concept, but I want to make something nice for my house too. I don't want to make like, ¿cómo se dice, Selva? Eli, para ayer, por favor. Exactly. Sorry, I mean,
That's okay.
like a jungle. Like it's
Yeah.
it's the front of the house. I want to make something nice and clean. That way you can see the house from before you don't. I mean, I don't cut the other trees. I don't know if Alex is telling you. I just cut the pines, like 5 pines, and you don't even can see my house. And now I want to make something nice. If I want to plant something like a front, because it's too many front of the house. This side the other side of the river or the water course, and then the other sides over there. So I got plants in the other side. I have plants by the driveway, and then I have plant by the front of my house. So, I mean,
Understood, understood. You just keep in mind, we have a very specific place that we're coming from. You know, street appeal is not in our list of things that we care about. I know obviously it is for you, it's your house, it's your property, but we're just here to follow, try to enforce the statutes that focus strictly on the water course itself and the quality of it and the functionality of it.
no, definitely. I just saying because right now I have like 15, and if I can split it, like you want 3 on the other side, 4 on the other side, 3 right here, like I can do that. Even if you want 3 or 4 more, it's okay. But I mean, what I'm saying, I
I
don't
think
want to make.
it's not, sorry, I think it's not saying everything that's in there and put more in. It's saying that we would like to see, instead of some of the smaller trees and shrubs, to put in some shrubs, but then also add in more of larger canopy trees instead of smaller trees,
Okay,
dogwoods. I think, I mean, that was kind of what I was,
Yeah, I agree.
I wasn't saying like take everything and let's shove more in. So,
okay.
So we want to focus on the bigger trees closer to the water course so that there's more shade there.
Yes.
correct, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Catherine. Okay, if everyone is okay with moving forward, we're going to move forward, and hopefully we'll see you in a couple of weeks with an adjusted plan with a little bit more information on it and a draft resolution, hopefully from Alexis, and ideally we'll be in good shape.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr.
bet.
Blanco, I'm not in the office tomorrow, but I'll be in Thursday morning and all day Friday if you want to stop by and
Okay.
we can go over what was said tonight.
Okay, perfect. Thank you,
All right.
Alex.
Yep.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Okay, moving on to, oh, I lost my agenda. S23-62, 27 Bonnybrook Road.
Okay. So this is a corrective action application. You have another application for 27 Bonnybrook Road to do a fairly straightforward second story addition and small bump out addition and the design for a reserve septic system within the upland review area. And you might recall that during my review of that application, I realized that there had been some additional work done on this property within the upland review area that required a permit and didn't have a permit. And so the property owner has, Land Tech on behalf of the property owner has submitted a corrective action application, and that's what this is. And Mr. Brian Carey, Land Tech is here. And
Good evening.
so you're free to take the floor and let me know if you want me to share my screen or if you're all set.
I just shared my screen. So I'm Brian Carey. I'm representing the Garcias on this application. I work for Land Tech, which is a environmental and civil engineering company located in Westport, Connecticut. As Mrs. Carachetti said, we basically have 2 applications pending at this point. This was submitted at the recommendation of the commission to resolve the notice of violation that was issued for the property in early May. Basically, what we're doing here is just trying to legalize structures that were constructed during the course of the pandemic with a zoning permit, but did not receive the benefit of, they didn't apply for an inland wetland permit. So just briefly, they're looking to legalize this concrete slab, the shed, which predates, goes way back, and then this above ground pool and deck. Basically, we put notes A through D here regarding the previous work. There were some trees that were also removed that are also a focus of the violation. So we did come up with a substantial planting plan along the wetland buffer. The plants will actually be placed on the outside of the proposed pool fence, and will be allowed to vegetate the buffer along the stream course here. There's a couple there's just some arborvitaes being planted back here just to create some screening at the request of the homeowner. And that's basically as part of our resolution to the violation.
Mr. Carey, could you zoom in on your drawings a little bit? please?
Sure,
Just a
yeah,
little bit
I'm
bigger.
sorry, I never know if,
Sorry.
no problem. Just move that. How is that?
Great, thanks.
Yeah, so just these are the four issues that were mentioned in the notice of violation that we need to address. So rather than seeking the removal of these structures, that we're just looking to legalize them. They are all zoning compliant except for this stone driveway, which will be removed, and seed and turf will be put back in its place. And like I said, there is a fairly substantial planting plan that we're putting a riparian buffer planting plan back in place to basically just revegetate the riparian area along the existing brook. I can take any questions, but it's pretty straightforward application to resolve the notice of violation.
Would you be able to zoom in on the plant schedule?
Yes. So we are proposing all native plants, riparian plants. We did not put any large trees in there, obviously, because of the pool. We do have serviceberry, which does grow, quite large, 8 to 15 feet. So there is some height associated with this, but most of these are plants that do well in the riparian buffer. At the client's request, he didn't want large trees replaced because of the pool.
And do we have any documentation of the trees that were removed, the 10 trees?
I don't have previous information about that. I don't know if Alexis does have some information about that, exactly where those trees were located. The homeowner, we haven't spoken in great detail, but I think most of the trees were adjacent to the brook where our planting schedule's going back.
I can show you those if you want in a second, once you're done looking at the submitted plans.
You want me to stop sharing, Alexis?
Yeah, I get is that the commission's. Sounds good.
Mr. Carey, I would just make one suggestion on the drawings. I think we have a 50-foot upland review area for wetlands and 100-foot for a water course. So I don't know, I think maybe some wires are crossed there, but if you wanted to show the 50-foot wetland and then the 100-foot water course, that would be great. Just so everything is square.
Understood.
Just a question, is there a septic or how, where is that in relation to the pool?
So the existing septic field is, it's basically right behind the deck in this area. Our other plan that we're showing tonight is basically for the approval of the B100 septic, which is going in this area. But the existing septic area is shown in this location. That is the septic tank, and then the septic field is in this area.
How far is that? I'm just trying to look in relation to the pool.
To the pool,
distance.
I think it's 25 feet. I'm not quite sure, though. We do have to, that there was no as-built on file for the town, so the exact location is not shown.
Yeah, so one of the things that you may want to do for this application is, in order to keep the pool, is to
Right,
circle over to the health department to confirm that that the pool can stay due to their own separating distances.
understood. And I'll turn this off.
Okay.
All right, so
And-
just in case anyone is also a little confused, and I know, Alexis, you mentioned it, but S-23-622 is what we're talking about now, this corrective action, sort of a retroactive thing.
Yes,
About those A through D on the drawings. And then later on, we've got S-23-618, which
Yes.
is the construction of the second story addition and small additions with associated septic reserve area. And after the fact, above ground deck and landscaping
yeah,
adjacent.
I think you have I'll double check the agenda. I think that the and was removed.
Oh, do I have an old
Um,
agenda?
I think so. If it's still there, I'll work to make sure that it is amended the next time, but I believe that the agenda is updated to just say, well, I'm navigating towards there.
Sorry if I'm
Where are you?
a step behind.
No, that's all good, because there was a lot of things changing and in motion. Yeah, so it now says construction of a second story addition and small additions with associated B100A septic reserve. Well, area with a typo adjacent to wetland and water course.
Okay, great. All right, but now we're not talking about that. We're only talking about the pool, the deck, the shed, the parking area, and the removal of trees.
Right.
That's correct.
And for my clarification, what exactly is within our, options as far as addressing this? So like, what if we really don't love the idea of anything within 50 feet of a wetland or water course? I mean, what does that look like?
Right, so you're I mean, I understand that the kind of after the fact applications are kind of strange and that they've already been done, but your review you would have the same considerations for decision for after the fact that you would for a proposed. So you would look at, well, what is the existing land before the pool was put in? What did the area look like? Just like if someone came in to propose a pool, you'd want to know, well, is the pool in an existing lawn area or are you going into a woodland? So you would really ask the same questions, and then based on the water resource and the proposed activity would make a determination as far as, are these activities having a negative impact on the wetland and water course? Are they mitigated adequately, or are they not? And you would come to whatever conclusions you come to.
Okay. So if you were to zoom in on what you're showing us here on the screen, this is before the trees were removed?
Right, so
Or-
this is 2019. So this patio thing has been here for as long as we have clear aerial photos. The shed is in this corner here.
Yep,
The water course is this dark line here.
correct.
Goes, let me zoom out for a minute. It is culverted at the street, but this is the water course, and then the water course comes along this location here. And then it's culverted to another street. And so this is 2019. And then I'll just go to the 2023. So let me see if I think I had marked, it's hard to compare them. I understand. Let me just make sure. Back
Alexis,
here. Yes.
just, is that your proprietary town software?
It is.
Yeah, I'm sorry, because when we did our aerial photographer review, nothing was as clear about the.
Understood. Not a worry. I may have gone through. Okay, so. I think I'm sharing the right one. When I wrote the notice of violation. This is how, I think I cited 10 trees. In the notice of violation, and it's based on this count, with the blue being trees removed. So this is the 2019 aerial photo where I've made circles on the stumps of trees. So these are shadows. And then this is the tree itself. So this is the one tree, for example, coming up, and then this is its shadow, and this is the other limb and its shadow. If that makes sense?
So
So
they were
they're-
pretty big trees.
They can be a little hard to read. Yes, so there are a few big trees. The circles don't necessarily correspond to the size of the tree or the canopy, just to clarify that. And so then these are the same circles in the 2023 map. So, and you can kind of see the areas where the stumps were. So this is 2023. So like for the green is an existing tree. You can see the tree, and then this one, the sun's at a different angle, so it gets a little confusing, but this is its shadow. And if you go back up, this is that same tree, and its shadow is here. So yeah, a fair number of trees. This is the patio, and then it had the pool location was kind of surrounded by trees. I think that, don't know if I took, no, it's 2007. If I go back to so the pool was installed, but the trees were removed after the pool was installed. The pool was installed in 2020. Because we have email correspondence with the property owner when he was, after he had gotten the zoning permit but didn't get the wetland permit. And so the trees around the wetland, around the pool had actually stayed after the pool was constructed for a couple years. But then in 2021 and 2022, some of the understory and this between kind of the pool and the shed, looks like some of that was started to be removed. But you know, there are trees right adjacent to the pool. But then they were removed sometime between 2022, 2023.
Are
Okay.
all of these subject to the 50-foot or 100-foot, all of the trees within the,
Yes, so the 100-foot upland review area comes to just about this corner of the property here.
got it?
Okay. Mr. Carey, is there any other information you want us to know? Want us to see?
No, I just want to say the homeowner who's been there for a couple of years wasn't aware of the inland wetlands process at the time, and thought he was complying with everything needed during the pandemic. Again, he does have a zoning permit and a building permit. I don't know why.
I don't think he has a building permit.
He doesn't have a building permit. He has a zoning permit. I'm sorry if I misspoke. I don't know how that happened on his part. So we're just trying to get that resolved. I don't think he was even aware that there was an issue until the NOV was issued, and I explained to him what the issue was moving forward with the application for the addition in the B100.
The septic.
Yeah, the B100 septic.
Yeah, sorry, it's not a term we throw around every day.
Sorry.
Making sure everyone knows what we're talking about when we're talking about the B100. Okay, well, I'm gonna throw something out there. I don't know. Actually, it's pretty unlikely that we would have allowed the extent of work to be done that was done had we been given the opportunity to comment on it. And so in sticky situations like this, where it is going to be potentially a big impact on the property owner, I personally like to rely on outside professional expertise. And so I think it'd be, and this is just me speaking, not for everyone, just for myself. I think it would be very useful to have a wetland specialist give us a report on, the functionality, of the watercourse and wetland, and what effect the actions that were taken have on it, are going to have on it. Having on it is the right tense, I guess. So I'm just throwing that out there. Anyone else have any thoughts? And this is just a receipt discussion. We're not making any decisions tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I would echo that if this was coming to us with proposed plans for the pool and the activities that happen in the review area, I think there probably would have been discussion about other locations that would be more suitable or amenable or beneficial to the wetlands and watercourse than where it is. There's a lot of questions about overflow and drainage and things, and permeability changes to the soil to that extent in the review area on the property, which is questions that I would want to understand in more depth from an expert.
Okay. Anyone else have anything they want to ask or contribute?
I'd like, if we did have a professional weighing in on the robustness of the planting plan. The sizes seem quite small to me. And also if a lot of trees were removed, it seems like we need to look at some replacement of those trees, despite the fact that it may shade the new pool.
Just speaking, I have to go back to the applicant. I don't want to speak for them directly, but I mean, doubling the amount of plantings in the riparian zone, I don't think that's an issue. Putting trees in the back behind the shed, I don't think that's an issue either. Again, this is just a above ground pool and the existing deck. I think the impact, based on these structures to the water course and restoring the buffer is really mitigating any of the effects of these existing structures. So I don't have anything against having a third party, and that's completely within your purview. I just worry about the cost to the homeowner, as they're of, I wouldn't say they're of significant means, and they're looking to expand the house because of their growing family.
And just to clarify, Chairman Clocky, were you talking about a third-party review, or were you just stating that the applicant should submit some additional descriptive information to back up the existence of the pool currently? So are you talking about land tech, him expanding the scope of services that Land Tech is his professional services from Land Tech, or are you talking about a third party review?
I was talking about a third party and mostly from the perspective of the trees.
Okay.
I don't know so much that, the shed doesn't bother me. It is what it is. It's not doing anything. The pool doesn't actually bother me all that much, nor the patio. But by removing all those, trees, it did, I think, could have an effect on the wetland and water course. But I don't know. So if someone comes back and tells us, hey, there's really nothing there before, and it's not a big deal, then that makes my decision a lot easier. But I do understand there's an impact cost-wise, monetarily.
Maybe since this is currently just the receipt of the application, so you're at the very beginning of review, maybe I think that the applicant's agent has heard your comments and give them a chance to revise their submitted plan, and then at the next meeting make a decision regarding the need for a third party.
Yeah, I would venture to guess that the applicant would rather spend money on additional plantings than on a third-party review that's going to end up telling you need additional plantings. So I have no problem bringing that message back to them. If you go back again, I apologize. I don't have the aerial photography that's available to the town. That would have made it a little bit easier. Going off of historical aerials from the state and what we have off Google, it's a little bit less informative than what we were looking at before. I can go back and use that as a benchmark for adding plantings. But again, there was not previously, if you go out there now, there was not a lot of plantings along the existing water course. Most of the trees that were removed in the area of the shed and further back on the property. So we can address that by adding additional trees, larger trees, and we can add more plantings along the riparian area to address your concerns.
Well, here's the deal. If they wanted to plant trees that are going to be achieve the same thing that the existing trees did, they're not going to get big enough to shade the pool for another 20 years anyway.
I
And
agree.
the above ground pool isn't going to be there in 20 years, or maybe it will be, but I doubt anyone's going to be swimming in it. So I guess that's the other side of that coin, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so there you go. So maybe if we're just all about maybe trying to get things back to the way they were, because we have, that's kind of the way we operate. So yeah, if you can get us close, then I could probably be happy with not having a third party opinion.
I have a question. Did a wetland scientist look at the conditions that are currently, I didn't see a report and I don't know if I just missed it.
We didn't do a full functions and values report. I didn't think it was, necessarily warranted at this stage. If that's something that the commission feels they need to render a decision one way or the other, that's not a problem putting that together. But again, there are no direct impacts to wetlands. We felt, again, you're looking at the NOV mitigation plan. This all started with a smaller, really the only disturbance associated with the original application when we were brought into it was for a theoretical B100 septic reserve, which technically doesn't get built unless it's needed to, the second floor addition, and then a landing. So our survey only included wetland flagging and not a full functions and values report. Again, the client, we didn't think it went to that level of research, and we were trying to keep the cost down for the homeowner. It wasn't until we got further involved that we realized that a lot of this had been done without permits. So now we're trying to, resolve that as we have this other application going. But I have enough information available from my site inspections and from our our soil scientists to put together a full function and value assessment. That's not a problem.
Thank you.
Okay, sounds like we have a direction moving forward. If no one else has anything else they'd want to ask or say, we'll let Mr. Carey go for the evening and look forward to seeing him again in 2 weeks.
Can I just ask like a quick point of order? So would you be holding off on approval of the other plan until this was resolved?
I don't see any reason to. Does anyone else? Okay, so no.
I'll hang around and answer any questions on that application, which will be coming up shortly. I appreciate your time on this and look forward to getting it resolved to the mutual benefit of all parties.
Great, thank you. Yes, all right, so we'll talk to you again in a few minutes. Okay, so moving on to the discussion and or decision portion of tonight's meeting. S19 546B 10 Willard Road.
Okay, so I had originally intended to draft a resolution to approve with conditions for this application. The applicant, Mr. Enters, did email me to indicate that he was unable to come tonight due to a family commitment. And based on that, I decided not to do a draft resolution. I know that there's been some discussion. There's been a lot of discussion. There's a lot of various elements that were up in the air. And I think at the last meeting, all the various issues, whether it was the culvert elevation, the deposition of wood chips in the conservation easement area, the paucity of the watercourse buffer. I think a lot of that was resolved, the location of the fence, and what remained was the bamboo. And I know that there's been some individual commissioners have suggested that it would be easiest if there was it was in like a planting bed or an above ground bed. Mr. Enters also verbally suggested that perhaps he could install a concrete barrier around the entire area, keep it in the ground, since the rhizomes don't go down, they go laterally, and do a concrete wall that came up above ground so that it was a clear demarcation. So I told him that I would put that before you and encourage more discussion so that for the next meeting, I'll draft a resolution that I'm looking for something that can be approved and not appealed and that we move forward. So, bamboo containment or bamboo management, I guess, is the order of discussion.
Okay, and we still have time. There's no, we're not coming.
Your next
deadline?
meeting is the deadline unless the applicant gives you a extension of time to consider the application.
Right on, last chance. Okay. Sounds good. Let's move forward then, unless someone doesn't want to. Okay, good. S23-617, 16 Fireside Court.
Okay, this one. Is when the application was received, the applicant, we had asked the applicant to update their plans to show the extent of the accurate extent of the lawn and to show the water course that was on the western, just off the western property line, and to also show the shed. Let me just share my screen real quickly. So the applicant did provide that today. And so earlier today I did just an update. Shoot. Shoot. Hold on. Don't think I hit save when I thought that I updated the website. Let me just find his updated plan. Sorry about that. So he did update the plan, and I did send you a possible draft resolution to approve with conditions in a memorandum, and I sent that late this afternoon. And if you recall, it's another corrective action application. The property has a watercourse and wetland area to the east of the property. There's a pond to the west of the property. On the east side of the property, there was some clearing and removing of vegetation on the eastern edge of 16 Fireside Court, as well as just over the line on 14 Fireside Court. The owners of 14 Fireside Court have provided a letter of consent to the owner of 16 to apply for and do any work on their property related to this corrective action. And then what is added is the limit of lawn is scaled back. Before it had the limit of lawn up to the property line. The remaining woodland is shown. And then the installation of this gravel driveway. What's not shown is the pop-up shed that was installed right in the southwest corner next to the existing shed. Let's see. The homeowner, when he sent me the revised plan, indicated that the pop-up shed would go away once he had a place to put his other materials. The material is currently being stored. He's looking for a new place to store it. So in the draft resolution, it says that all the work needs to be completed within 4 months. And so the scope of work would be doing the restoration planting plan that's shown on the plan that I just showed, removing the pop-up shed, and removing any gravel within 50 feet of the pond, all within 4 months of issuance of the wetland permit. So that's what I have, but obviously it would be your decision. So I don't think that the applicant is here this evening. No.
Okay, any commissioners have?
I just want, if you could kind of give an indication, what does that mean if you say remove the gravel 50 feet? Do you know where that line is?
Yes. Maybe. It is, let me show you on an aerial photo, I guess. So this is a current aerial photo of the property. This is the installed gravel drive. And this is the pop-up shed here. Right on the property line. It is getting a zoning notice of violation because it's within setbacks. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Hold on a second. 50 feet would be. It ends up being pretty much in line with the front of the existing shed. So here's the existing shed, and this is the limit of 50 feet from the pond. So there is gravel that extends pretty much all the way to nearly the back of the pop-up shed. So this portion of gravel would have to be removed. It was previously lawn. So I didn't have any proposed restoration. But you can certainly require something. Previously, it looks like the owners before them either had lawn or stored this boat in that location.
Commissioners, any thoughts? I don't feel too strongly about a remediation plan for that area, and I think the draft resolution covers it. So I'd be willing to make a motion to approve the memorandum dated today, June 13th, 2023 for S23-617 as written. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Knight, any discussion? Nope. Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous.
I think I need to abstain from the vote because I wasn't here from the beginning.
Okay.
This is truth.
4 votes to approve, 1 abstention. Great. Thank you, Lexus.
Absolutely.
All right, so we're back to 27 Bonnet Brook Road, S23-618. So now we're specifically talking about the second story addition, small additions, and the B100 septic reserve area.
Yes. Maybe Brian stepped away.
Well, I don't know that we.
So I did
No.
send a draft resolution to approve with conditions in your packet. Those, and because for this application, there was not a lot of work very proximal, it's all within the upland review area, but none of it is necessarily proximal to the water course. It had minimal special conditions. There is a the existing driveway is between the area of work and the and the water course. Did I send you one? No, I
Yeah,
think
it's dated,
Okay.
it's named funny. It says it's
Okay.
dated, named Bonnet Brook Road 27 conditions.
Okay.
Yeah, it took me a minute to figure out which one it was. Okay, does anybody have thoughts about this one? Or if not, I'm willing to move to approve the memorandum dated June 9th for S23-618 as written. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Ms. Brown, any discussion? Okay, now Heather also abstains from this one, right?
Yep.
All right, so all in favor? Aye. Cheryl, that was a yay?
Yay.
Okay, all right. So 4 for, none against, 1 abstention. Make that B100 happen. Okay. Or not happen if not necessary. S23-619, 37 Geneva Road. Septic system and 2-story addition.
Yep, this is an application you guys received at your last meeting, and you can make the decision tonight. Alexis sent the draft resolution. I don't think there were too many comments on it. So if you guys want to approve.
Just so everyone knows what they're voting on, could we get a visual? Or do we have a visual
A visual of the resolution or of the property.
of the property, please?
I can pull that up.
I can share it if you want to.
Oh, great.
Alexandra Mark.
Yes, you can pull up your screen. Please, thank you.
Well,
So I did actually went over this site presentation last time, but just like quickly going through the pictures. So this is the view of the river. The house is kind of to the left.
Actually, I'm sorry to interrupt. So do we have just a drawing, one,
Oh, yeah.
just one plan that we can look at that is the,
So probably this is the best one. So the only activity actually which is within 100-foot water course area is the septic, which is located here. And here's the water course buffer 100-foot. So this is the only one. And then we also have the additions here, but they're outside of the jurisdiction.
okay, thank you. Sorry to cut you short, but I just wanted, I'm a very visual person, so it helps me to remember what we're talking about when I can see a picture.
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, do any commissioners have questions about this one?
We also have a planting plan with along the river,
Beautiful,
and
thank you,
we're going to be removing invasive species.
thank you. Fantastic. Does anyone else want to make a motion other than?
I'll make a motion to approve the memorandum as, I don't know what else.
yeah, that works. To adopt the resolution in the.
To adopt the resolution as presented.
Okay, I'll second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. So 4 for, 1 abstention, none against. Off to the races.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, S23-620, 127 Richards Avenue. Demolition of existing structures and a construction of 13 residential units with parking, grading, landscaping, drainage, etc.
And just before I give the applicant or Amelia and the applicant the floor, I just want to let you know I'm leaving to go to the Common Council meeting. So Amelia will be here. And I hope to be back, but probably not. So
Okay, thank you. Have fun.
take care. Thanks. Talk to you soon.
This application we also received at your last meeting, and it does require a public hearing, which we could schedule tonight, and Attorney Blank is representing it. There were some concerns brought up, which were addressed in a letter posted to the website, which I can either bring up, or since Attorney Blank is here, he can also address.
Thank you, Amelia. So Adam Blank for the applicant, RVCV LLC and Mary Grace Vona, or I'm just going to call it Vona for now. Matt Kivijarv, the engineer, and Matt Pop, they're on. I don't know, Amelia, it may be worthwhile, for them to be imported in.
Yep, I'll upgrade them to panelists.
Okay, great, thank you. So, and I think the folks that are present tonight are a little bit different in composition than a couple of weeks ago. I'll just give you a quick 2-minute overview and then try to answer the questions that come up. And then again, as Amelia mentioned, this does require a public hearing. Unless there's big issues come up tonight, we're hoping that you'll schedule us in 2 weeks, which I would appreciate, because that works better for my schedule than your July meeting. And I believe for Alexis as well. She had mentioned that she was comfortable with that and that worked better for her schedule. Again, as long as you're satisfied with our presentation this evening. So with that, let me just pull up. This is the property that we're talking at here on Richards Avenue. It's 127 Richards and 135 Richards. These will, pending your permit and a zoning approval, these will be merged into a single lot. This chunk right here in the middle is not part of our project, so we just circle it. And here's the 5 Mile River down here, so there's a water course with associated wetlands on the property. You can see there's some larger users next to us, and then although this shows on here as empty or vacant land, 125 Richards. This is 125 Richards here, which is a elderly housing complex or senior housing, which with mostly, this one I think is all duplex units, which came in front of you previously, almost identical application to the one in front of you today, which again is for a similar elderly housing project here on Richards that would look like this. It's 13 units. Again, 5 Mile River here with wetlands. You did have a few questions the last time. I'll just tell you the property, and I will answer those questions. The property, you can see there's the topography lines here, slopes downward from Richards down towards 5 Mile River. The proposal would be to have 60% of the site be open area green space. 25% of the site will be dedicated as a conservation area. When we presented to you 2 weeks ago, and if I miss any of your questions or if you have any new questions, obviously you'll let us know now. But I had mentioned that there were 2 trees that were going to be removed. You asked where those were and what the diameters were. So it was a 14-inch maple and a 16-inch ash that were going to be near the level spreader on the southwest corner of the site, which is in this vicinity here. This is the level spreader. And more details, Matt Pop can tell us, or Matt, or the other Matt, the engineer. Have we submitted anything in writing concerning precautions being taken when there is a structure closer to the wetlands is being demolished? So yeah, there's a sedimentation and erosion control plan, which calls for silt fencing to be installed around the demolition area, which would be installed prior to demolition, prevent the trekking of equipment and debris into the wetland or the review area. Another question that was asked was, can we submit materials related to the retaining wall proposed closest to the wetland and watercourse? And can we confirm the construction of that wall will not interfere with the operation of the level spreader or force the level spreader to be relocated closer to the watercourse? And again, this was that level spreader. We did submit those materials to you and to your staff. I think that you have them. I can pull up the photos and the description of the retaining wall if you'd like to see it, but it won't interfere with the operation of the level spreader or force it to be pulled further into the upland review area. Finally, do we have any snow management procedures? And the snow is going to be stockpiled behind parking spaces numbered 1 through 4. And I'll zoom in even more for that so you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are the 4, and they can stockpile it, starting at 1 and working their way towards 4 as necessary. And those were the questions that came up during that last presentation. We've got the rest of the crew here tonight, which weren't available last time. They can answer further questions, or if you'd like to hear more about the project, we can give you a little bit more of a presentation.
Commissioners, are you satisfied by the responses given by Mr. Blank's office? No thoughts, no feelings? There's a nod. Thank you, Catherine. As I recall, we didn't,
I think Commissioner Holowinko, I apologize. Did you raise your
oh,
hand?
sorry.
Yeah, I just had one
Yes, ma'am.
question about the snow piling. I mean, in reality, the people who come to plow the snow, are just gonna plow it to the end of the road and like, that's it. I mean, I don't care, what they tell you, that's what they're gonna do. I think if we have some large trees or shrubs at the end of the road there, it'll, dissuade them from doing that. And go with the original plan of snow piling and parking areas 1 through 4. So, I mean, that's my only real concern right here.
Okay,
So,
Mr. Pop,
I'm Matthew Pop, landscape architect. I prepared the landscape plan. Right at the end of the road, the low end, we do have 3 birch trees right at the end, so that will hopefully prevent the snow from being, placed and pushed over.
uh,
So you can see the 3 trees right at the end of the,
right.
yeah.
Maybe if we put something like split rail fence or something in addition.
Yep, I think maybe, yeah, there is a wall, but maybe boulders even, because that may be longer.
Right. I mean, just to keep them from doing it.
Yeah, nope, and that protects the trees too.
Yeah.
okay,
Yep.
nice. Thanks, Ed. Sorry I didn't see you.
Yeah,
Anyone else? Okay, well, we're not deciding anything tonight because we need a public hearing. So, let's see, Amelia, do we need a motion to schedule a public hearing?
I'm pretty sure you do, but just to be on the safe side, let's definitely do one anyway.
Okay, so, I move that we, move forward with the, public hearing, which involves, as far as I can recall, notifications, et cetera, et cetera. And we'll, I don't know if we can schedule that for 2 weeks from now. No, we're not going to, or we are going to.
You can, you can schedule it from 2 weeks from today if you would like to.
Because he's gonna be at the beach for our July meeting is basically what's happening here. Which is fine by me. Okay, so yeah, I move then to approve the planning of a public hearing. Can I have a second?
On June, just for the record, on the June 27th meeting.
June 27th. Thanks, Millie.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Knight. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
I think Commissioner Breslin, you can vote on this one. Pretty sure.
Aye.
There you go. All right, unanimous. So then we'll see you guys and whoever else wants to chime in on this in 2 weeks.
Thank you, appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you. Moving on. We've got. Oh, well, that's it. We have approval of minutes. Did anybody read the minutes? All right, well.
See the minutes.
You could pull them up quickly if you wanted to take a look.
Yeah, why not? Did you write them?
No, I just wrote the special meeting minutes. I believe Diana wrote these minutes.
That is correct.
Thank you, Diana. So I'll just scroll through slowly. If anyone sees anything, I can edit it on the fly too, and then we can approve with any edits.
Can we have some music too, Amelia?
I was just thinking that. But if you want me to speed up or slow down, just let me know.
Actually, a little slower, please.
Got it.
My stupid question about why.
Number 6.
I guess, yeah, I guess Diane, you had to include that. That reminds me to think before opening my mouth. It's all in writing. It's all on Zoom recorded.
I did.
I feel sorry. I feel bad for you that you got my mouth to try to translate.
It's okay. I've been doing it for a very long time.
Yeah, you've probably seen it all. Oh man, I'm gonna move to approve those meeting minutes. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, any discussion? So I can see everyone. Amelia, would you mind not sharing your screen? Thank you. Let's see, do we just do discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Can Heather vote? You weren't
I-
there? Yes, you were there.
I was not there. I was at the special meeting. I don't think I think I have to abstain for this. Sorry.
All right, so 4 yeses, 1
As much
abstention.
as I like voting.
Right, okay. Great, thank you for that, Amelia and Diana. Okay, so Mr. Carey, are you hanging out for fun?
I apologize. I ran to the bathroom, but I think I missed my spot there, so.
We approve the B100 and such.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You bet.
See you next month.
Good night. Okay, all right, so conservation initiatives. Yeah, I was supposed to draft comments. Actually, hold on. Oh, they're upstairs. I didn't get around to it. So, should I go get my notes? Should we hammer something out here? Should someone chain me to my desk to get something down in writing?
I can do that.
You can do that? Oh, you want to do that? How about I chain you
I-
to your desk?
One of us will do it.
All right, okay. Does anyone else want to help? You can come meet us at the office. Water views? No? Okay. Great. How about Diane Loricello's comments on our potentially loose whatever approach to releasing $200,000 from the open space fund?
I would like to know what it is. What I would like to know more about it.
Okay, so there's a pot of money that we are in charge of in general. We can give it out to whomever, usually it's like Norwalk Land Trust and people like that, to do any of like 3 or 4 things. One is to attain land, attain open space. One is to facilitate attaining land, I think. I don't have them in front of me, but basically there's 3 or 4 very specific ways we can use the money or approve the money to be used. And we have had other applications in the past that didn't meet those definitions clearly enough and were rejected. This one, to me, I thought was pretty obvious that it fit within what we were allowed to do with the money. We were presented a lot of information from a representative from the Land Trust. So I think what Diana was saying was that we maybe made the decision to give the money to them without the full picture, without that open space inventory. Is there a different word to use? Anyway, what I didn't quite follow is it sounds like somebody is putting that list together. I don't know who that was. Amelia or Diana, did that ring any bells for you guys? Okay. Yeah, so maybe we are not living up to our mission by not having not maintaining an active list of spaces that could or should be purchased. So I don't know what to do, honestly. Anybody have thoughts on this?
I do, because I'd asked Alexis about open space when I had forwarded to her, or I'd mentioned the Greenwich, open space plan that they had put together recently. And so she forwarded one that was put together previously, I don't know how many years ago.
For Norwalk?
For Norwalk, and there just wasn't a lot of inventory. And I know that, you know, in the presentation, they showed Yukon stats where open space has decreased in Norwalk and developed space has increased. So I think it's challenging in the fact that, you know, one of the conclusions of the previous open space was that there's just not a lot of open spaces available in Norwalk. And, you know, listening to the Norwalk Land Trust, it's challenging to find significant parcels of land. And so this was a significant parcel of land. And judging by the flow of open space applications that we come to the Conservation Commission, it's not like people are beating down the door. It's a very, you know, many years, 5 years in between, you know, opportunities coming up. And I think the portion of what the Open Space Fund contributes or grants available is a small percentage of what the total cost is to acquire these parcels of land. And better use of funds, you know, it's protected, you know, trees and space on people's private property is not technically open space by definition. You know, trends of what's happening is things are getting subdivided, and public space that's available to Parks and Rec isn't necessarily like open space in the conservation sense. So I think that there's some context to the comments that needs to be appreciated, you know, considered.
Okay. Okay. I don't even know, how would one go about? Well, I mean, she mentioned there's 2 city properties that could be put into a conservation easement.
Yeah, she
Um,
said something about pocket parks, and
Right.
you know, it would be good to have more information on that.
Yeah, well, so here we go. If Diane ends up listening to this recording between now and next time, Diane, let us know what those are, and let us know if you've got ideas or would like to help with that list, because we definitely do want to live up to you know, the mission of you know, whatever it is, administering these funds. So, okay. Well, I don't have any more on conservation initiatives. Does anyone else have anything? Okay, I think everyone wants to keep going. All right, so comments of staff?
No comments from me?
No comments for you. Okay, comments of commissioners? Okay. I'll move to adjourn. Can I have a second? Ed got it. Nice. Good move. Cat-like speed and reflexes. Okay, any discussion other than, dang it, more stupid stuff that Diana has to write down. For the record, I would like to say that Commissioner Ed Holowenko has cat-like speed and reflexes.
Minus,
Do you want that in the minutes?
I said for the record.
All right, then it will be.
Okay. That was my comment as a commissioner. Oh wait, no, it's too late. Shoot, we're at adjournment. Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Good night.
Good
Good night, everybody.
Have a good
Heather,
Thanks.
bring your padlock tomorrow.
Sap it in.
Got it.
Good night.